Welcome to the Software People Stories. I'm Shiv.
I'm Chitra,
And I'm Gayatri.
We bring you interesting untold stories of people.
associated with the creation
Or consumption of software-based solutions.
You'll hear stories of what worked.
and sometimes what didn't,
You will also hear very personal experiences.
and insights that would trigger your thoughts.
And inspire you to do even greater things.
The final episode in the series commemorating women in IT and tech in the month of March 2021, we feature Maha and Lakshmi, a couple in IT. Starting with Maha sharing her story about having the opportunity to do what she liked and how learning and developing an interest in production support gave her the satisfaction and flexibility with work and home, what support she got from home and colleagues through her transitions, having the freedom to take her own decisions. And then Lakshmi shares his changes in routine and ways of working post-marriage, sharing some of home responsibilities, and together being supported by families. Maha and Lakshmi then share how working from home now has posed a bigger challenge for both and getting used to new ways of working while facing longer days together. They also know that IT, tech, and any other job today is no longer a 9-to-5 commitment. So, showing more empathy towards each other, colleagues, and people around makes things work a little better.
Welcome to the Software People Stories, Maha and Lakshmi. As we spoke earlier, this month we are featuring women in IT. And this year we want to cover the perspectives from both the women's side and also the men's side, typically through the spouses. So we usually start our episodes with a self-introduction. So Maha, you can start first, and then Lakshmi, you can add how you got into IT, your origin story, and what you've been doing and what your current role is.
Yeah. So, hi, I'm Mahalakshmi. I've been in IT for the past 6 to 7 years. I finished my engineering and got into IT through campus selection. So, I've been in the same company for the past 6.5 to 7 years. Yeah, the journey has been quite good. I was in a development role the first 3 years. And post marriage, after coming to Bangalore, I've majorly been into production support teams where I've had different roles. Presently, I'm working in a production support team as a senior role, not lead exactly, but in a senior role. So the journey has been quite good. Been a lot of learnings and stuff throughout. So that's it about my introduction related to work perspective.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, we'll probably explore something more a little later. Lakshmi, what about you?
I did my computer science engineering, and in 2008 when IT was so when I joined, IT was boom, and I joined in B computer science. When I finished, it was not like that. 2008, we all know what happened, but left with no choice, searching for companies, and got into one service company or related to IT, and worked in Chennai for 6 years, and then came to Bangalore and joined a product company and working in this for another 6 years. So totally 12 years of experience. That's the journey, how I got into IT.
Yeah, the other question was, why did you choose IT, for both of you?
To me, actually, it's not a choice that was given to me. It was, I didn't choose it, so it was put into me, and how I can say it's a whole wish of family to get into IT.
Okay.
But once I entered it, I'm enjoying it, but it's not something that I liked initially, but going forward, I enjoyed it once I joined.
Was it your choice, Maha, to get into IT?
Yeah.
And what was the attraction of IT?
No, but I did not choose computer science when I did engineering, but somehow I just took up the opportunity which came to me, and somehow I've started getting to like it more as time progressed. But it was just an opportunity for me to join the IT company. I got an opportunity, so I just tried to explore further. So it was neither choice nor force for me. So
Okay.
Yeah, so the time period when we started doing our engineering, it was like 2004, sometime when everyone started talking about IT, and it was like a booming industry where you get, once you finish it, you get more package and everything. So So parents, everyone got inspired by those things. And to be honest, I don't have much vision at that time. So that's one of the reason like that.
Yes, most of us are like that. In fact, see, when I
Yeah.
studied BE, my interest was in hardware. But then in the
Mhm.
campus, I got into a company, and then I like software. But then I learned software even while my main project was in hardware. One of my friends enthused me saying that, "No, you must learn software." That was, of course, long back. So after that, both of you also seem to have shifted from Chennai to Bangalore, right?
Yeah, my case, I was working at Mysore. I studied at Chennai, but yeah, I was working at Mysore. Only post marriage, I just got a transfer and a different project at Bangalore. That's it.
Okay.
So to
See,
me, the technology that I work on, basically it is not being used by most of the companies, or it's not available in most locations. So only limited locations I have the options. One option is in Bangalore.
Okay. Anyway, Bangalore is a nice place. So one question, see, compared to many other industries, now I wanted to focus a little more on, say, Maha's experience and particularly in IT. So compared to many other industries, now IT has been more equitable, for women, both to enter, have some flexibility in terms of work, be able to take on responsibility, etc. What has been your experience? You said that you started initially as a developer and then now you're getting into production support with a senior role. So were these things that you are liking to do, or is that just a natural progression that after some time you need to handle teams, you need to do other things than pure tech work?
Yeah. So since I was not basically trained on IT, the first opportunity, the development opportunity was it was a learning experience. But there also, I knew that I had a liking for bug fixing more than development. So even in development, we have a phase where we have to fix the bugs before deploying the same. I was a little more inclined towards bug fixing rather than the code development. But I did take on that opportunity of the development because it was a learning phase. I learned so many things, so many other new technology and other stuff. So which I had no experience before doing the same. Only as I worked, I learned it. It was good, but when I got the opportunity of tech support, so that also I took it up because I had to shift to Bangalore, and that project also had a little development scope as well. So I wasn't very skeptical about taking it. I thought, okay, it should be something like half development. So it was actually only a little of like support and stuff. There was no shift or anything. I was majorly learning new skills and other new things which I've never done before. Writing scripts or stuff which I've never done before. I learned all that. I After that, I actually have a liking now for this production support and this one, because I feel like in the projects after marriage and after being a kid, I feel like this project gave me flexibility actually. So I could work. I had to work in one specific timing, but even later, where I had flexibility of doing work when I had time at home. So night also I could sometimes log in and work. So that gave me a flexibility, and I was like pretty happy with it. So I have taken a liking. It was not like I had no option or something. So now I've started liking this aspect, and this particular project is giving me a little flexibility. Not always, but at least when in time of need, I am able to work at home also for a little bit of time after logging off at all. Now you know the situation is totally different, so fully at home. But when we were going to office, I could come back on time and take it up later in the night when I had.
Okay, very good. Yeah, that was something I was going to ask you, particularly
Mhm.
as a woman when you were in Mysore, and then lot of changes. Suddenly, you shifted location, shifted role, and all that. What is the kind of support that you got from your colleagues at work as well as at home, handling these transitions?
Actually, after shifting to Bangalore and all, it wasn't At that time, the colleagues were like, I didn't like have a situation where I needed support from colleagues for the transition. But yeah, this environment which I have been in, I don't know if all women are in the same boat. I had the thing where when I had to leave back home at one specific time, I was mostly allowed to, or I had the liberty to take that decision when it was important. And yeah, and even shift timings and others were a little flexible for women rather for men. They not logging off late in the night and other stuff were there. But otherwise, from colleagues, I don't know. Like only the timings wise, they were a little supportive. Otherwise, at work, I think it was everything the same. And at home, yeah, I don't know. I have little support from everyone. It has been like when I have to, concentrate on work and stuff. At home, I have a little support system with my parents also now. So and before having a kid, it was only the two of us, so it was pretty okay. There was nothing much to adjust at home or something.
So after the kid, did anything change, or did your requirement for flexibility change?
Yeah, I did, but yeah, after that kid, the project which I was in also was different. So this project, I had my own laptop and stuff, so that I could log off and come back home and do it at my own convenient timings. The rest of the work I could complete, and yeah, that way, like 5 to 9, when I wanted to be at home with my kid, I had the flexibility. Like 90% of the days I had the flexibility and support. And that point there was support from my colleagues where they understood that I wanted to be back home mostly. But I would say that is not the case with most of the women, because that depends only on the project. So I would say I was lucky where I had most people don't have that laptop also. Even now, only after work from home they do. So they come back a little late if that is what their project demands. They have to do that. My case, I feel I was a little lucky to have landed on that kind of project where I could go back home and log in at my convenience.
Okay, yeah, that's nice. So now similar questions for Lakshmi. When you started your career, you were single, and then you would have been working in different teams. From that time, the way you understood the challenges or the expectations and the requirements of your women colleagues to post marriage, was there any change in your own ways of working or understanding of your colleagues' challenges?
Okay, so before marriage, you ask me the lifestyle which I used to follow. It is like whenever only when the work completes, I return home. Okay, so that was like even at the time I was nearby my office, so I used to stay late and complete the work and come home by maybe late night. But after marriage, that there are changes. So it's like at least I try to reach home by 10. Okay, and that's the change that I can say that happened after marriage. But mostly I try to start early, but 70 to 80% it will not happen. So I'll start only late, and I'll reach around by 9:30. So even in the organization that I work in, so it's we have laptop and we have work from home option. So mornings I start only by 10. Okay, to office and log in and check emails in the morning, start late to office. So I come home late, so by 10. So that's the change. Earlier it was like I don't open laptop at home. I go to office and open. So now that's a change that had happened.
Okay, yeah, that is in terms of your own working style. What about the interaction with colleagues? And did you have women colleagues before marriage and now? Is there any difference in that? From your understanding of what their needs are, like Maha said, evening 5 to 8 or 9, she doesn't want to be disturbed, right? That is family time.
Before or after marriage, my interaction with women's colleague, the understanding of it it's the same. It's like 5:30 or sometime. If it's the same like 5:30, they can go home, or that's what it will happen in most of the cases. And if anything urgent that is required, they'll log in from home. So that's the trend that continues before or after match. I haven't seen any changes that took place there. Because we had flexibilities. Only I didn't do that because I was alone in Bangalore. Even I don't. My parents weren't staying with me; they were in Chennai. So even if I come home, I will be alone. So I prefer staying at office and working.
Okay. Did anything change after you became parents?
Mm,
Again, it is more about
to me,
the demands on women and how we as men can be supportive of women. That is the whole theme that I'm trying to explore.
yeah. So it's couple of things that changed. It's like morning when I go late, so I'll take care of kids sometime 1 or 2 hours, and night I'll support in making the kid sleep and those things. So other than that, even only during Saturday, Sundays, I'll get time to interact with kid or play with kid. So since I always had support, or we always had support of parents, so of our parents, so we didn't. So what both of us working, I'd say for me it didn't make much change. For her actually it is like taking care of both things. Okay, so it's a different need for women, and feeding baby or anything, so woman has to take care of that. It's a change in her thing, and whatever I can support with the thing, like taking care of baby whenever I'm available, so that I think I'm doing it.
Very nice. How did work from home change all this? In the sense, both of you probably had calls during the day, might be at the same time.
Work from home, it is little difficult actually, rather than working from office. Okay, it is like work from home puts some added pressure not only to us, okay, to all our managers or all our employees also, I'll put, because they also want to have deliveries happen at the exact at the scheduled time whatever they planned. So it's like tracking and everything, it's getting difficult, and scheduling calls, everything gets changes. It's not like, so sometimes in office, if we are in office, scheduling calls will happen only till 8. If we say now, it is like scheduling calls is happening till 11 also.
Okay.
So that's changed. Yeah. So and interacting with team also, it's now a challenge, right? So it is like being on call continuously in the days with the team, and if there are any guidance that required from to us, or we have to give, so those things are a little difficult now rather than being at office. So that definitely, if you say work from home, from the household responsibility standpoint, okay, so people tend to say that it is like we can take more care at home right now because we are working from home, but that ideally not the case 70-80% of times, because the office calls are taking much more time than we expect.
So, Maha, taking off from one point that Lakshmi mentioned about tracking and saying seniors also will find it difficult because of this work from home model, or the dispersed working, as I call it. Since you said you also play a senior role, two questions here. Now, one is, how do you keep track of what your team is doing? And second, when any of your team members need your help, has that become more challenging?
Yeah, keeping track of the team's work, I don't know, it's the same, like it is more challenging, doing it on a call, or keeping track of the mails and stuff. Since we are at home, we do not know like if they are really available or they are not. That keeping track of that is a little difficult, if that work is really getting done or not. Yeah, it is difficult. How I do it is like we have to have some checkpoints every day, and just calls and stuff at the end of the day, or I would say I don't know, like it is mostly happening through calls only. So whenever it is actually one thing which I've seen is when the manager earlier, when they suddenly want something, they'll come to our desk and ask it, and now it is becoming difficult to put everyone in a call suddenly. So yeah, it is a little difficult, but now I think earlier it was new. Now I think it's been almost a year, so I think we've gotten used to it, like pinging them immediately, asking them for a call, or if it's really urgent, calling them on the mobile, or that is how it is happening. I actually don't remember how I was doing it. We were doing it last March, April. I actually don't remember how. Now we've gotten more used to it, I suppose. And this coming to your second point, keeping track and delivering things, it is the same now. So
No, it is about your being available when any of your team members want your help or guidance. Has
yeah,
that
so
made it
that
difficult?
also it is happening only through, so they know my timing. So now after work from home, I've actually gotten into like almost like a morning shift, 6 to 3 or something. So but still I like work till 4:30. So after that, if they if they really need my help, they just call me on the mobile. So that has been there. It is a liberty which everyone takes. I do the same. So they just like call me on the mobile and check with me for any updates or any help needed. So here it is like, since we are at home, we are actually immediately expected to log in. So even when we were at office, we would be traveling or we might be out or something. Mostly we are expected to log in and help them. Yeah, it's like being like available from till at least 10 p.m. in the night. It is like we are mostly available. It is taken for granted that we are available. We are at home. The laptop is there. You can log in and you can help anytime you want. So that has been the expectation now. But it's not like very frequent. But when they need our help or assistance, we are just a call away. That's how it is now. We're just a call away, and if we don't see the call, we are nobody minds. But yeah, but mostly we pick up the call and we tend to like help them if it is really necessary. If it can be taken care the next day at work, we can postpone it. That's how it is. It has been. And coming to his point, my husband's point of view, also this I would say work from home has only worsened the situation. Yeah, as he said, he would at least wind up his calls by 8 before this work from home. Now he has calls till even 11. It has become like we are available 24/7.
Couple of points to add. So it is like becoming a new normal, the word that we use, right? It's like becoming new normal. Like we are expected 24/7. Okay. And second thing is related to availability of. So it's like IT industry, I would say it is, or people understand that whenever it is required for anyone, related men or women. So if there is a time that they need to take care of kid or take care of parents or anything, people understand that, and time is being given, and they are being allowed to. And second thing, it is like whenever there is a critical thing that is running on in the organization, and if we are expected, and that's the only time where we also have responsibility to attend to it. So that's the only situation where it is become little trickier. Other than that, people understand. Even if a man needs to support a woman in case of anything, and if let's say they don't have a support of parents and they are taking care of kid, only husband and wife are taking care of kid. If husband needs some time to take care of kid, people understand that too. So that's also,
that's probably one of the positive things.
I don't know if it's happening everywhere. So to my experience, I see that's happening.
So that's the whole idea of this podcast. When people listen to these kinds of stories, things that have been happening, they also could get ideas. They may be facing similar challenges and all that. So Maha, did you want to say something?
Yeah, the same thing. Like we even since everybody is like working from home, it is now like only 50% or 60% people have support at home. Earlier, even when there were no maids or even the babysitters who had babysitters couldn't have it, people were given the flexibility. Like I would say at that time, women had a little bit of flexibility. When they said, I have to go give lunch for my kid, nobody would actually mind. Unless it was a burning issue, I would very comfortably say I have to give lunch to my kid. I'll call after half an hour. People used to understand. Earlier, that would not have been the case. They might have been offended. I could even tell this to my manager that my kid needs me for like half an hour. I'll get back. So we at that point when the support was given, I think we also had the urge to get back at that point of time which we agreed to. So it was like a mutual respect and support given. So, but yeah, since we took that liberty, we were also expected, or we made it a point that we finished all our work on time also for that day. So since we take liberties like that during the middle of the day, so we made it a point we finished all our work. I think maybe that was a two-way street where everyone understood. And if work was not done, we would have been questioned. I guess.
Yeah, that is a very, very powerful statement. Mutual respect and support. I guess that's what makes marriages work.
Got it from manager, so I would just like to mention that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've shared a lot of good points from your own experience. I'm sure this will be very useful to everyone. Usually, I like to end our conversations. We are coming to about the close of this episode by asking a career related question. But today, I thought I'll probably ask that a little differently. As a young couple, what would be your advice for people who are about to get married in two possible combinations? Now, one where both of them are in IT, like you, where you do understand the load and the expectations and the nature of work. Like you said, sometimes there may be more, sometimes there are deadlines, and then you have some flexibility. And in cases where one person is in IT and the other person is not, how can this mutual respect and support and understanding be developed? Do you have any suggestions for that?
Okay, so when both of them are in IT, so I think both of them being mature adults, they should be able to understand. I assume they must have had at least 1 or 2 years of experience before marriage. They should be able to understand that IT cannot be a 9 to 5 job now. You cannot log off and come back home when it is the time. So there are expectations. It's there everywhere, not only in IT. But I don't know much about other fields. So if you have an expectation from your spouse and they are not able to meet it because of some work related deadline or an urgent or a sudden call can change your whole day. I've seen that happen with him. So on a Saturday afternoon, suddenly he'll get a call till night, he'll not come out. So that can happen. So we have to understand it. So it cannot be it's a weekend and it's off and you cannot allowed to work or anything. So we should have, since we see colleagues, we face the same situation at some other point of the time. We should understand when they are late or when they have sudden calls during a dinner. They suddenly get a call and they get off. They don't. We don't take care of the family on time. Something's happened. I think they should put that it could have happened in their team or with their for themselves also. I think they should understand that sometimes it happens. We know it is unavoidable. It happens at some point of the time. It just happens. We think we are free today, suddenly work comes, so we can't do we can't do anything about it. So I think the spouse has to understand it should be both ways. So and there should be support at home also for the spouse. So the wife is late, the husband can definitely cook for her, no issues.
Okay. Yeah. Any tips from you, Lakshmi?
Yeah, I would put it simply, but it may not look that simple. Okay, so it's like before marriage, discuss on your work, what to say, your workload, how it will be in your role in the current organizations, how it will be like that. I think we had discussions like this is how my work role will be, and we had our discussions and we understood it. We understood how our thing. At least we don't know what future role that we will take up. In the current role, at least we discuss like how our work and how our timing will change. And even if there is any support expected from the office, if there's any support expected during the weekends, we inform prior. Actually, this is going to happen in the weekend, so you cannot expect something over this weekend. Okay. So it's just a simple thing like discussion, like discuss related to your work and plan accordingly. If you have understanding of each other's work structure or how their work life is going to be, then there will not be any issues. That's what I
Yeah, so thanks a lot.
And one more point is day to day also, not every day, at least my major points we do discuss our work with each other, like what happened, I had this fight, I had this disagreement, or this good thing happened, something. So we mostly both of us discuss it. So I think that brings an understanding, like this is how this or this person expects this much work from him or from me. So he'll also understand. So if this person calls, he'll know, okay, it's important. So like basically, not like every day we don't have time for major things we do discuss with each other. I think, as he said, that I every month I have a weekend, I'll be off for 4-5 hours. So I'll tell him on Friday night itself. So tomorrow morning 8 to 12 I'm not available.
Okay.
So like so that would bring he'll also be prepared that he'll have to take care of the kid or something.
Yeah.
So like that, it's there, and we have to discuss our work, like not each and every, we can't do that, but basically if you discuss your problems, I think the spouse will have an understanding. Okay, so this is important, so this he or she has to do this, so they don't have this one. So a non-IT and IT couple, I don't know. So like I think even in non-IT, everybody has similar problems, similar deadlines, similar circumstances. So I would say that even then, most of the same rules would, I think it might be this one. Maybe even other jobs have shifts, they have deadlines, they have sudden calls and other things. So even in non-IT, I think many of them, at least 60 to 70%, it is the same expectation as what I think. I might be wrong, but
Yeah, so even if the other person is aware of your industry or not, if you discuss it, it's like giving importance to that person, to let's say wife is in non-IT industry and husband is in IT industry. If husband discuss to wife related to IT industry, it's not something wrong. Okay, so it is like giving importance and then explaining her what's happening. So that will give an understanding of what is the expectation on you from the organization. So that will lead to a happy life, is what I will say.
So thanks a lot, Maha and Lakshmi, for taking the time and sharing your perspectives. And there are some more questions. We'll probably have a different conversation later in terms of how some of your experiences and even some of the work-related stories, how you learned some things the hard way, which may be useful for others, and so on. So thanks a lot for coming on to the show.
Thank you.
thanks, Sivaguru.
Thanks for hosting us.
We thank Siddharth for the music and Malavika for promoting the Software People stories.
If you like this episode,
Please subscribe on your favorite podcast client.
And spread the word in your network.
if you'd like to share your story,
Contact us at podcasts@pm-powerconsulting.com.